Hello, this is Mike, Little Asian Store, and today I wanted to show you how to actually explain how to run a serpentine belt or how to change a serpentine belt in a 2500 3-liter Sprinter Dodge turbo diesel engine. This is the edited version because the real version was not good. I did not know the correct wiring or the correct routing of this serpentine belt, and this is a doozy. So let me explain how it's done the easiest way. First, you're gonna have to get rid of all this stuff here. The proper way to take this out is you're just gonna grab this and pull it straight up, and it's just connected right in here. And after you get that done, just grab this firmly and pull, and that will disconnect it. Now, here's your positive charging piece that's just hooked it right here. This just goes straight up and out, and you can lay that down over here. Before you're doing all this, you might want to disconnect your negative ground cable, and it's located right here, right at your feet. So you just take this, pull this down, pull it right off. Okay, and then when you're ready, leave that until you're done, and when you're ready to hook it back up, simply place that underneath, lock it back in, and you can pull and verify that it's reconnected. Okay, so before we get started, disconnect this, pull this up and out of your way. Now, on your breather, there's a clip, and it's on the back side. You just want to simply squeeze this in, okay, and you can pull that out. And this one right here, it's got two clips, one here and one there. And I don't know if you can squeeze that with your fingertips and pull it out, or take a large pair of needle nose pliers and squeeze right there and pull it out. After you get that done, just get you a flathead screwdriver and turn it backwards, counterclockwise, until you get this close to this level, and then you'll be able to pull this right off. Now, this is not bolted in. It's basically in there with clips. So you grab here and pull straight out, and here as well. Just pull firmly up and out, and then you'll be pulling this towards you, and it'll disconnect it from the clips behind. Now, I want to know what we have here. This is your serpentine belt diagram. And the whole reason that I had to change this out is because this piece right here, the idler tensioner bearing, went out. Not the whole piece, just the bearing. And I was able to buy this part at one of the local auto parts store. This is the emergency procedure for changing the serpentine belt. And what I did, because I left the house and heard this pulley squealing like crazy, I said, no, I don't think we're going to make it. I had a far journey to go, turned around, and as soon as I got to the driveway, this froze up completely, burnt the belt, and the whole belt flew off. Well, not all of it. I wished. Some of it got wrapped up in here, so I had to take a pair of needle nose pliers and take this out. Now, I believe this can be done without taking out the fan clutch and assembly. Now, the whole reason I call this the emergency procedure is because if you look down here, there is a fan and clutch, and it is just right in the way. Okay? Now, in order to do this properly, see, I got my flashlight going. You see that nut down there? And that secondary belt? That goes to your fan, and it's just on the other side of this housing. you have to put a spanner wrench on that where the belt's at, and you have to put a small wrench on that. And you can buy these tools on eBay, but fortunately I cannot buy them locally. I even tried some of the auto parts stores. So if you have to do it in an emergency, this is the way to do it. Otherwise, go ahead and buy the tools now so you can get this whole fan housing on. Now, that being said, here is the fan housing. And this just simply pulls straight out. You see, these tabs hold nothing. They're almost worthless. Alright, this pulls up, and you have some tabs. There's actually 4, but there's only 2 you have to deal with. One is can't see them right down there. See where it turns and comes in? Right in there, there's one. And I ended up using a screwdriver. And the second one, which is a little bit easier to access, is right here. Okay, once you get these tabs depressed, this whole piece, see how large it is, can be moved around. It doesn't come out because you have the fan and you have the clutch assembly. You have all that garbage in the way. And no, it's not garbage, but when it's in your way, it certainly feels like garbage. I even thought about splitting this whole fan shield and taking it out and throwing it away. I mean, I was just in a state of mind. Alright, so the fan belt. I'm just telling you this so that you know it's going to be frustrating if you have to do it this way. Alright, so here's your clutches, or your whole crankshaft assembly. Here's your alternator. Over here you have your 2 pumps. One is AC, one's power steering. Here's your tensioner. Okay, and these are all pretty much idler bearings. Okay, your alternator's over there. Now, I recommend leaving the fan belt on if you can. I took mine off. Now, it's very dangerous. Alright, don't do this. I say don't do this. If you have to do it, you do it. It's on you. Alright, but I ended up taking a flat piece of pipe. And I don't know if you have a kickstand on your, but I just made mine. And I took a flat piece of pipe and I took it over to a piece of concrete and I smashed it. Okay, I smashed it flat. I made sure there was no burrs, and I asked my wife to help me in removing this fan belt. And since I couldn't find no other way to do it, we walked it off. And I even saw a Mercedes mechanic online saying this is the proper way to do it. Okay, so I put that flat piece of metal down there and I oiled it. Okay, that way it wouldn't get hung up, that way it didn't try to pull me. And I put some leverage on it. And before doing this, I took my wife and put her inside, and I asked her, because this has an auto start, I asked her, could you come on here and bump this? Now before it starts up, you know, you hear it, I want you to turn it off. Okay, so she bumped it, turned it off, and I said, could you do it a little quicker? She says, okay. So she bumped it, turned it off. So I had her practicing before I did any of this. Alright, and I bumped this off. This is just to give me a little bit more room. That's me. You do what you feel is best. Okay, this is my emergency. So put a little leverage on that, and with the oil, walked the belt off so I could get her more clearance. Alright, that being said, then I took the serpentine belt and I went down inside this housing right here. It contains a fan, and on that fan there's a piece of plastic. So this is one solid piece. All the fan blades are connected to that piece of plastic, and I wedged it in there, pushed it down as far as my hands could take it. Alright, to get it around this whole serpentine assembly. So this fan is connected to this. There's actually 2 pulleys on there. They're hooked up together, but there's 2 pulleys. So I went around the fan, both edges, got it underneath and pulled, so that this whole belt, some's on top, some's on the bottom, but right now you're circumnavigating the whole thing. Okay? Now, this is easiest to work on underneath, but after getting it underneath and pulling it down, I then got back on top and hooked it up anywhere I could over the top. Okay, so I've got this pulley here, and there's one other pulley underneath, and I was able to reach over here. You can't even see it. It's down under there. There's that pulley right there. Okay, able to reach underneath and on top to get these things started. And your alternator is right down here underneath this junk. So now I'm going to take you underneath, okay, and show you. Now, you've already been under here without me before, and fold it into a big circle, okay? Now, what you want to do is you've got all this mess here, and you want to get the whole thing encompassed, and you are going to go up and over that crankshaft belt and in between another pulley, and you're going to end up going over that tensioner belt right there. And see the nut? That nut is a specialty tool item. Good Lord, I can't even see with the camera. I'll have to check this after when I'm editing. Okay, well, anyway, that nut there is supposed to be a specialty item. There we go. You can get that off with a 14mm 12-point. That is to say, one of those cheap nuts, not the 6-point. Alright, and you're going to put it over that tensioner. This is coming up and over the crankshaft, in between, okay, over to the tensioner. Now, how you're going to hook it up to the tensioner. What you want to do is you're going to disconnect over here. You don't want it to stay on the pump, that upper pump. That's the easiest one to get to, okay, without having it come off of everything. It's the most stable, let's put it that way. So do yourself a favor and get something that's 12 inches long, okay, three-quarter piece of pipe should do it. Get yourself some leverage. This tensioner pulley is a pain in the rear end, and even if you're fairly strong, it's very hard to hold this with limited socket wrench. Okay, get yourself some extra leverage. You're going to pull it way back over here, and you're going to pull on it counterclockwise. You're going to be pulling it to the left. All right, and that's going to give you some slack on that tensioner. And then you're going to reach your arm up inside here to this pump, the one on the top. Okay, this is right in my face, so I can't really see. And you're going to slip it over there. So, again, you're going to have 14mm on this bolt, an extension on it, because it is so strong. I'm going to reach up here and grab it on, and it's going to take moving it all the way. I mean all the way, and then it's going to feel like it barely fits on, okay? And when you let go of it, it don't feel like it's letting go, because there's so much tension on this belt. Alright, so I hope this helps. Don't cuss me. You don't have the tools to change it properly and get all the space you need, and to do it the easy way. And Sprinter told one guy they have to take the whole front end of the car off, and you can imagine how much that would be.